especially in the first half when our ones were in there. Did a great job of finishing drives, keeping plays alive. Was a little nervous there, had a couple third downs that we didn't convert, but we kept the drives alive by converting on fourth down. I think we were 3 of 3 converting on fourth down, and those are just as good as third down conversions because you're keeping drives alive. So really proud of that, and excited to get the heck out of here as fast as I can.
Tom De'Aaron King to do what he does. I mean, you've used him in many roles, but to have that kind of game, what do you, for a true freshman, what can you say about that?
Oh man, you know, as electric as he is, he's a tremendous athlete. He's a better kid. He's a better person. He works hard. He's a leader. Definitely the leader of that freshman group. And you know, as a true freshman, to play in his 4th college football game ever, to be the only player in the history of the University of Houston football to throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, and return a touchdown. That says a lot to, you know, he didn't do it by himself. Certainly, there were 10 other guys on that field that made those plays happen. But at the same time, it's a guy that just goes out and works his tail off, listens, doesn't say anything, and just goes to work each and every day, and it shows on Saturdays.
How was the conversation when you went to him? You know, he came in as a quarterback, correct?
Yes.
So you said, we need you, or how did that go?
Yeah, it was, you know, the conversation happened because we had basically our first 2 starting H's go down, I think, within 3 days of each other, in Rashad Sambles and Marquez Stevenson, and didn't really know what we were going to do at that position. And he was a guy that obviously was going to be the third team quarterback, and we asked him, you know, is this something you'd be willing to do for a semester to help the team out? And obviously he was more than willing, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you the kid, the second the clock hits double zeros in our bowl game, he's going right back into the quarterback meeting room, because I think that kid's got a chance to be a tremendous quarterback in this system too.
Tom, you talked about this a number of times, about your culture and all, but once again, your team shows no signs of letdown, shows no signs of looking ahead. Some thoughts about that?
Yeah, I just it's unacceptable around here to do that, to look ahead, to not focus all of your energy on the task at hand and the mission at hand, and that was to come into a hostile environment on the road, their first home game of the season, and take care of business, and they did. And that's a testament to our coaching staff, testament to the leaders on this team for not allowing that to happen. You know, we get them as coaches for 4 hours a day. You know, the leaders and the teammates are around them all the time, and just proud of the leaders on the team for not allowing anything like that to creep into our culture.
Greg stayed in the game until that second drive of the third. Accomplish what you wanted in terms of how he feels, get some work in, but still call it a little, at least an early night.
Yeah, I was glad it worked out the way it did, not just for him, but for, you know, all of our starters on this short week. You know, that would have been a shame for us to come in here and piddle paddle around and have to play a 4-quarter game and keep our starters in the whole time. So it was good for Greg. He had a look in pregame. He looked like the old Greg. So I don't ask him really too much about how he's feeling unless I notice something negative, and there were no signs of anything negative. So I'm assuming he'll be like he's been the last couple weeks, continue to get better each day.
How's the call?
Preliminary signs say the ACL's fine. Could be an MCL strain is what they're calling it right now. Obviously got to get an MRI on it to make sure, but could have been really bad, but the prognosis is it's, you know, maybe a couple-week deal.
Any other health issues out of this game?
Mac Long tweaked his knee a little bit on the lateral side, on the outside, so he'll be evaluated tomorrow. Other than that, everybody's good.
How do you gauge, I know you've been asked this many times back in Houston, but his story is just an inspiring story. We covered him for a few years here in Austin. And, what do you know about that backstory and his background that he came up? Is that inspiring to the team?
Oh, it's a tremendously inspiring story. You know, to overcome what he's overcome says a lot about him and his character and his will to succeed. But it also says a lot about the people in his life. You know, Buddy Dryden and his family, as well as the Austin Reagan community, really taking him in and taking him under his wing and providing him the resources and the education to be a contributor as a true freshman in big-time college football.
How has the adjustment been for him? I know he was in it tonight, but how has he adjusted to this?
Probably had his best week of practice. You know, Mobile was not used to practicing as hard as we expect, and I'm not ashamed to say that. You know, there was a big-time adjustment to the tempo and the intensity of practice, but I really saw some really good things the last couple weeks from how he was practicing, and I think he's on the right track.
Tom, are you considering seeing determination and focus throughout these games for your defense?
Say it again.
Start to finish, the focus of defense is showing you're continuing to see that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, I knew a few weeks into training camp that, knock on wood, if we stayed healthy, we were going to have a chance to be pretty good defense. And, you know, we're able to rotate some guys in, especially up front. That helps keep them fresh. But they show up each and every week, and I would expect them to show up, especially this coming week.
Tom, the fact that you've been through a short week already successfully, how much does that help? Second time around.
It helps a little bit for our guys to kind of understand that the problem is we were done playing Lamar and guys were home by whatever it was, 6 o'clock p.m. We're not going to get it home till you guys stop asking me questions and you know, probably, you know, 1:30 in the morning. So that'll be a bit of an adjustment, but our guys have been through it, and you know, there's some added motivation for this one. So however sore they are, however tired they are, I got a feeling they'll find a way to block all that out.
Tom, how do you gauge when it gets out of hand like that? How do you gauge, you know, how much you play your starters, style points? Because you guys are really in the running for something big here.
Yeah, we don't care about style points. We want to win each game, and we understand if we do that, then we'll be rewarded at the end of the season, regardless of the margin of victory. I'm just happy the game turned out the way it did, so we could rest our starters and, again, not worry about the scoreboard one
Do
bit.
we just invite you to the Big 12 now, or do we have to wait?
No comment.
Tom, you had no penalties.
Is that right?
I mean, when you get in a game like this and a score like this, and you're running as many plays, I mean,
Yeah, that's encouraging, especially like you said, when the 2s and 3s especially are in there. Could have had one. I had to call timeout when our punt return team was out there. We had 12 guys on the field, you know, and that's a bear for those guys on the sideline that handle our special teams depth chart, because you start pulling all these starters out, offense and defensive starters out, and it's pretty chaotic down there trying to find the right 11 guys to run out on the field. But we called timeout, so yeah, proud of the team. I didn't realize we had no penalties, but it's a sign of a mature team.
Tom, you guys, 4 games in 19 days. You go right back into practice tomorrow. How are you managing that, and how are your kids managing that?
Rest. We got to rest and take care of our bodies, because we pride ourselves on preparation. We feel like we prepare harder than anybody in the country, and we're not going to change that because of the short week. Now, we may cut down the actual time on the field, but we got to get our repetitions in, and they've got to be full speed, because that's how we prepare, and that's what gives us an edge on game day.